Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Smith Bros. And today we got two amazing people on. We got Andrew Sorchini, and Dr. Mark Sherwood, guys. Andrew Sorchini is the amazing guy that we brought on a couple weeks ago. Who he owns Beverly Hills Precious Metals. He helps people. Educates them on inflation, all the crazy things going on in the world, and tells them how to protect their money. Like you can turn your 401k or IRA into gold and precious metals, IRA and 401k, which protects you completely. And then Mark Sherwood is basically telling you how not to die because the healthcare industry wants you dead. They do not care about you, and he exposes them. He's amazing. So be sure to check in to these interviews. They're both going to be on this video. Stay for the whole thing. You do not want to miss it, y'all.
Fire!
It's going to happen. 3, 2, 1. Hello, Andy Sorchini. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you. I'm so happy we got to do this in person. So
you
guys all remember Andy Sorchini, Mr. Gold. This guy is so awesome. And so we're at the Reawaken America tour right now. I'm sure you guys have seen the other videos as well. And what's your favorite thing about this tour and being here?
I love seeing all the flags. I love seeing all the craziness, and it's not bad craziness. It's just patriotic people of all types walking through the parking lot, walking in with a smile, walking out with a smile. It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
Agreed. I didn't even know this was a thing a year ago. So a year ago, we were August the 1st to Reawaken America tour, and I was like, all these patriots, all these people that are so fired up, traveling all across the country just to hear some powerful voices that most of them have been silenced and deplatformed and stuff.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And driving in the middle of nowhere to get here. I mean, you can't be at a more obscure place.
I was like, this is New York?
Yeah.
I was like, when I think New York, I think Times Square.
Exactly.
I think there's big lights, and I think like you feel like you're in a movie. Yeah. I'm over here in a cornfield.
Yeah, cornfield after cornfield.
After cornfield.
But that's what we do for what we believe in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to mention, what I think is so amazing, and I don't know about all people that sell gold, but the fact that you're here. Someone like you could completely cater to a different demographic and probably do very well doing that. But the fact that you're here and standing up for your country and standing up is why, one, we work with you and that we love this, and we want to encourage everyone here to work with you. And I know we'll get into more, but bh-pm.com. You can buy gold and silver. And then you said the retirement plan. Can you go through that again? Because that is such an important thing that I think these people need to understand.
Absolutely. Many people out there that work at places like, say, Walmart or Target or even companies all around the country, they can have a 401k program where the company contributes to their retirement and they contribute to their retirement. Okay. So when people stop working at these firms, typically it just sits there and you're not doing anything with it. You don't know if the money's really there. You're watching the news at night and you hear that your retirement might not really be there, and you can convert those into a precious metals IRA. So all people need to do is, as you said, contact us through bh-pm.com. Fill out the online form. Say, hey, I've got an old 401k that I'm not doing anything with, and I'd like to find out how I can convert that into a precious metals IRA. And it's real simple. We email people an 8-page application. We fill out almost everything for them. We just read through it with you and have you sign it and date it and send it back to us. And we begin the process of transferring the funds from your 401k and into a precious metals IRA. And it's actually not complicated at all. Just we get the forms to you, you get them back to us, and then once it's funded, now the fun begins. Okay. Then we can go out and we can buy gold and silver for you, and it's sitting in a vault in a depository in Delaware, and it's a lockbox with your name on it, and you can request it delivered to your home or office or whatever anytime you want. So
your money is protected when it's a precious metals. I don't understand why everyone doesn't do that. I don't understand why companies don't create their 401ks based in that. I mean, I'm sure you know the answer, but I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me because that is real money. I mean, ever since we got off the gold standard, this is nothing. I say this in all my videos. Guys, this paper money you're carrying in your wallet is worthless.
Based on trust.
Exactly.
Based on trust.
We believe this is money. So that's absolutely insane. That doesn't make sense.
It's like living in a lie.
Exactly. We just agree that the piece of paper is a $100 bill. It's agreed that it's worth $100, but one day we could decide, no, it's not worth $100. Yeah. Then we have a serious problem.
And there's nothing backing that.
Exactly. But if you have $100 worth of silver, and you guys say, hey, this is worth $100, and I disagree with you, fine. You can just go to anywhere you want, another city, another country, anywhere in the world, and other people will see that value and understand it, and it is currency.
Yes.
See, that's what's so important. You can go anywhere and it'll be worth something.
And
Anywhere.
You were talking to us about, I think, was it you we were talking to about how Vladimir Putin
Oh, yeah.
buying all that gold?
Yeah.
Like, we said Elon Musk was
Right, you said
Elon Musk. Like, that's not a, that's Elon, guys, the richest man in the world is over here concerned because Vladimir Putin's buying all this gold. Every business person you ever listen to, Robert Kiyosaki, they all got their gold and their silver. Like, there's a reason why people that are intelligent with their finances always focus on gold and silver.
The richest man in the world, he said, like, I wish I was as wealthy as Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, he said, I wonder what it would be like to have Putin's money.
Right. Isn't that the richest man in the world said
that. That should mean something to you.
Yeah,
guys.
Right.
Because the way that the financial banking system is set up, it's all centralized, it's all linked together, sort of like a blockchain for cryptocurrency is. So that's a plan of the government and the big banks, which are like this, is to keep everything where it can be tracked. So as far as what's tracked here in America, we know that it's always Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk becoming like number one and number two.
Yeah.
But we don't know who the real number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are because what they have are assets that are out of the centralized banking system, like gold and silver. So I'm guessing that Putin might have like the largest wealth of anybody. If he doesn't, it could be some of the wealthy people in Saudi Arabia, the big oil people. I'm sure they convert that oil into gold and silver because you wouldn't want to put it into dollars because we could have a revolt here in this country and then it could be obsolete overnight, just like it was after the Civil War. So,
amazing.
So there's no better time to go to BH-PM.
Well, but it's like we're in with this, especially America. Like most of the people that follow this page are American. The inflation is insane.
Yeah.
And like you said,
It's real.
you said on their website also you have statistics and charts and all this stuff showing where we're at and what we're being told. And I think we went over this last time. Is what we're being told the inflation rate is not.
It can't be.
Is not probably accurate.
Exactly.
Like just kind of how like a recession is now redefined.
Oh yeah.
Through the Biden
What's a
administration.
recession?
They don't like to tell the truth. You know, they don't like to tell us what's actually happening, what is true. And so when they tell you something, it's probably a lot worse.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, this could be your paper could be nothing.
So soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
And like I said this before, Vladimir. Well, not that we need to look at him for political purposes, but when it comes to
agree
he's
with
not
his ideology,
stupid. But every person you know that has any form of success is always stressing the importance of stuff, and we just dismiss it. And we were talking about. I was talking to you about how our dad was like you said. The older generation is more knowledgeable on the importance of it, and everyone's about no. I gotta pay my bills. And I understand that, but it's you don't have to buy massive chunks. Just slowly over time. Build that, and I don't know what the minimum rate would be to purchase on. Is there like a 1 ounce you have to buy, or like I don't know how that works?
You can buy them in like 1 or 2 ounces minimum, but for us, we try to start with a minimum 5,000, which you'd be surprised how many people are doing much more than that.
Really?
But if people want to do less than that, we can tell them where they can get it done. Sometimes locally, so we're not just trying to shut it off from people that can't do 5,000 or more, but we'll help you. We'll talk with you and tell you where to go.
And that's what's so amazing.
Yeah. And through you guys, I mean, this might be obvious to some, but through you guys, if you wanted to convert your precious metals back into like dollar bills, you can do it through your business.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And that's something that I don't talk about enough, but should. And it's something that I feel is implied, but it's only because I do it every day.
You would think,
and it's not.
Yeah.
It's when people don't understand that. So any gold or silver that people invest in or purchase from us, we will buy back from them. And for whatever the current rate is at that time. And even if you bought it from another company, the chances are that I would say about a 98, 99% chance that we would buy back that same product as well.
Oh, wow.
So for us, we'd rather have it than the actual cash in the bank. And one thing, just to go back to something you said a moment ago, is for anybody out there that's ever had what is a significant chunk of change in the bank to them, it's an uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
It is. It doesn't matter if 50,000 is a lot to you or 100,000 or if you have millions.
Yeah.
The more money you have in the bank, the more scared you are of all the different things that could go wrong and how it can be taken from you.
Well, yeah, and banks. I heard we were reading a little bit of a book.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but they were talking about how the banks like take your money and then give it out like 7 different times.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that's insane.
We don't understand banks. No one really understands
banks. I'm like, that's sketchy. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. And then, but that obviously wouldn't be the case when it comes to returning our cash into gold.
It's true.
That would never be done. They would never take our gold and give it out.
Exactly.
So it's like,
doesn't really seem like a. It's not too hard of a decision.
It's not.
It's not.
It's honestly, it's unwise to just disregard the importance of transferring your funds. Not all of them. Obviously, you got to buy for dinner for your for your family. You got things you got to purchase, and that you can't just give gold to. I mean, some places you probably can, but I'm just saying. It's just important to be wise in the long run because it's not even just about you. It's about your family. It's about your going forward. If we're going down the direction we are with Biden, I mean, we're believing that things are going to change in this country.
Right.
But
be wise though. Wisdom.
Be wise, man. 100%. Don't be stupid.
At any moment, it could
be an idiot.
Snap. All that's gone.
Like that.
Exactly.
Gone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now what? Now you're all starving because you're being lazy. You didn't want to go to bh-pm.com. Let them know that SmithBros sent you and buy yourself some gold and silver.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Transfer that and if you're transferring the 401k into an IRA, gold IRA, you're not even really spending that much money.
It's a lateral move.
Yeah.
And it's a non-taxable event. People need to know that.
Oh,
it's
that's
not
important.
taxable at all.
You hear that?
So you're not losing on anything. You're
Yeah.
protecting yourself
Non-taxable.
while not spending anything.
You're converting your assets into green and then into gold. So the green dollars and into gold and silver, and you can put it back into green anytime you want. Yeah.
It's like there's no other option. It doesn't make sense to do anything else.
Don't be dumb. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb. Man, I just think it's insane that people don't know this.
Yeah. It's the banks don't want you to know that. You call your financial advisor today and say, should I buy physical gold and silver? They will tell you you're crazy. And the reason why they would tell you you're crazy is because you're taking like their lifeblood. That's how they earn a living, is from their clients, from their investors. So when you say, should I invest in gold and silver? You're basically saying, how would you like it if next year I take away some of your business that I do with you? They're going to say no, and they will lie to you. Yeah, I talked with the comedian Jim Brewer, who I believe is here, and he told me that his financial advisor said buy gold and silver. I go, that's impossible. I go, is he a good personal friend of yours? He goes, he's one of my best friends. I go, that's why.
Okay,
I go, because no financial advisor will tell you to take money out of the centralized banking system. That goes against what their management is telling them.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
so insane.
So wicked.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You can't trust anyone. And I'm like that with everything. When it comes to cars, getting my car fixed, I don't want to bring it to a shop. I have a guy from Michigan. Unfortunately, I'm in Texas now, so I don't have him. But I don't like to go to people that I don't trust because they'll always exploit you. They're always trying to ruin you, because they don't care. It's all about money. I mean, it says in the Bible, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And these people love money so much that they're willing to put the desire to get that money over actually helping someone and serving someone else.
Exactly.
And I don't like that at all. And that's why I really like how you are with that. Your company seems to be very accommodating to the people and not just money hungry. And it's like, especially with, I mean, I don't know how most gold businesses work, but being able to no fee whatsoever to just transfer and convert something, that's amazing.
It is. It's some of the ways that we protect people. Like, these are just real examples. If someone says, I have $130,000, I want to roll over from my 401k into a precious metals IRA. And I will ask them questions. I'll say, okay, so let me just ask you a few questions so we can determine what amount might work best for you out of that $130,000 to transfer over. And they'll say, no, I want to do all. I go, let me just ask my questions first, okay? And I'll say, do you pay any bills out of your retirement? And they'll say, well, I make my car payment out of it. I go, so then I don't want you to transfer the whole $130,000 over into a precious metals IRA if every month you're going to have to sell $500 worth of gold or silver back to me. I go, that wouldn't make sense. Let's leave enough to cover like the next year of car payments, and then we can convert the rest over. And they go, wow, I didn't think of that. And if you're looking out for the client, that's what you will do. If you're looking out for you and only you'll just say transfer it all.
That establishes trust.
That's integrity.
That is awesome.
That is integrity.
There are real sharks out there. They just want all your money. You care about the people. Man,
I would never work. Yeah, exactly. Go to bhspm.com, which stands for Beverly Hills Precious Metals. In case anybody was confused about that, Beverly Hills Precious Metals. You want to work with someone. It's just getting gold and silver is important, but you want to work with somebody who you can trust and someone who is for you. And in every area of life, you want someone to be for you because if they're not, they could always try and hurt you. Or it's not even that. It's not even that their desire is to hurt you, but they're about themselves, and so it ends up hurting you. So this guy said, "I'm going to talk to you, Andrew Sorchini. I'm going to talk to you, ask you questions, be wise with what you've been blessed with or what you've been given through your hard work. This could be years of hard work that builds up to this thing.
It does,
and you don't take that lightly.
Yeah,
that's so respectable and honor. Like I honor that you treat the people that come to you that way, because a lot of people wouldn't."
Yeah, absolutely. It's I've been working at it for a long time, and there was some days when, way back in the beginning, when business was very thin. So I realized you can get gold and silver anywhere. Google it. You can get it from anywhere. It's been around for thousands of years. So why would you buy it through us? Because we will take care of you. We won't. We're going to try to do the right thing. We have people that say, I have $80,000 in my checking account, and I want gold and silver. I go, great. How much do you want to use? They go, $80,000. I go, okay. Well, if I take it out of your checking account, then how are you going to buy food every week? And they go, well, okay, maybe I should leave a little bit in there.
Yeah.
So we are watching out for the client. It's just, another example. These happen every single day.
Man.
So call us. There's no pressure at all. Just fill out the online form with as much information as you can. Say that the Smith Bros sent you, and for sure do that part. But give us the most information so I can get you to the right person. And if I have time, I can take the call.
And it's a free consultation.
It's free, no pressure.
Free consultation.
Yeah.
You get to have a conversation. Even if you don't end up doing it, you can always put it in your back of your mind for another time. You can always have that, but know that you can trust it. If you trust us and you follow us and you really believe what we've been speaking and stand for, we trust him. I'm not going to another gold guy. I'm not going. And General Flynn is like he's
Yep.
His thumb of approval.
His thumb of approval.
Is on this.
General Flynn said yes.
Yep.
And you can trust General Flynn more than us. So,
Exactly.
he's General Flynn. But man, thank you so much, Andrew Sorchini, for coming on today. Beverly Hills Precious Metals. Is there anything that you want to say to these people before you head out? Anything? Any words of wisdom? Any advice? Anything?
I would say the biggest thing is don't procrastinate. Reach out now. Don't assume that everything's going to be available later how it is now. It's really a small percentage of Americans understand the value in gold and silver and how it can protect you. And if just a few more percent of the American public can figure this out, the available supply will dry up. So don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Oof, that's good.
There you go. All
right.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you so much for coming on, and we appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, that interview was so dope. Again, Andrew Sorchini is just a wealth of knowledge, and he's he's informing us on all the crazy things that are going on in the world and how important it is to get gold and silver. You need to go to bh-pm.com. Let him know the Smith Bros sent you. You get a free consultation. As you see by this interview, he's a man of integrity, and he will not let you down. So go to bh-pm.com. Let him know the Smith Bros sent you. Get yourself some gold and silver. All right, y'all. Be ready for Mark Sherwood now.
Hey, Dr. Mark Sherwood, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
Man, I've never got a greeting like that. I'm doing awesome. No, it's good to see you guys. It's first time we get to do this live, huh?
I know, in person.
I know, it's good.
So awesome. And then now you guys can see the comparison.
Right.
The guys
We weren't joking.
So I can be, you can be before, and then you can go past it and become after.
I'll totally be down.
New level of after.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I like it.
I was just staring at him earlier, and I'm like, why is his arm so big through a suit jacket? It's like The Rock.
Literally.
It's huge out here. So we're at the Reawaken America tour,
Yeah.
and you just spoke not too long ago.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
How did that go?
Great. It went great. The crowd was into it. This is a good group here.
Yeah.
In New York, and you would think New York bad. No,
Right,
it's actually
you would
really,
think
it's
that.
great. This is a great group of people.
That's so fun.
Awesome.
And it's so amazing. So you're telling people how to be healthy?
Yeah. Today I was sharing it's our duty to care for this temple.
Yes.
And I was telling them that we're not born with medication or vaccine deficiencies and things like that. And then, it kind of blows them away. How we've been lied to by the system.
Yeah.
How the health trends
what
are
a
going the wrong
shocker.
way. I know, right? And so, if the government says to do it, don't, and people love that kind of stuff, right? And I'm just all about I had a slide comparison up there that people went crazy on. It was one side Fauci and one side Jesus. And I said, in whom do you trust? Right? And so do we trust the white robe or the white coat?
Yeah.
Who do we go to first, right? And so
exactly.
it's like we really got to get our priorities back in line. We're not saying doctors are bad. We're not saying medicine's bad. Medications are bad. We're saying that priorities are that Jesus is a healer. Yeah. He's got to be our primary care physician.
Yeah, exactly. Oof. And I like how you told us, I think it was last week or the week before, when you were talking about how a lot of these things are from the natural, from the ground. This is God. That's God healing you. Is this stuff that he's put on the earth for us to consume? And like in America, I watched some videos. I don't know if I sent you this clip. Israel sent this. A clip of someone talking about the food in Australia versus the food in America, and how much worse it is here. And like, it's just such crap that we're putting into our bodies.
It's terrible. I've been all around the world, as you guys know, spoken on every continent except one. Now, wherever I go, and even when I was on the power team and even other ministries traveling around, it was shocking to hear what people were saying about America and about Americans and their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And they're right. They can't believe we behave the way we do. They can't believe we eat what we do. They can't believe the abundance we have and how we take it for granted.
Yeah.
And the world views America as, gluttonous, spoiled, complaining, just juvenile attitudes. And you can see why that is. And I can relate. But the thing is, we in America have the abundance based upon God's blessing of our country. So unless we put God back first, understand He's the source and the author of the blessings and the abundance, we are using that abundance in the wrong way. And other countries are shocked.
Yeah.
And they almost are like bitter against us. Yeah. And you really can't blame them the way we act.
Honestly, we complain and whine about everything.
We do.
100%. We complain and whine about everything, and it's like you're saying, all the other countries are just like, first of all, y'all eat horribly.
Yeah.
Y'all eat horrible.
Y'all fat.
Yes, it's true.
You're all fat and complain, but you have so much, and it's like all you were talking about. I hate America, and they're just like, if I could just be there,
Well, and the American dream, we complain so much about, the borders are open. I get it. It's a bad deal.
Yeah.
But people still want to come here. Isn't that something? Isn't that an idea that is an opportunity? Isn't that something we should look at and go, okay, there's something we have that people want.
Yeah.
Other countries are so impoverished.
Yeah.
Other countries, people are actually starving to death. I mean, they're really starving to death. But not in America. In America, to think that we generated and came up with this thing called the Western Standard American Diet, which is full of processed foods.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, and we've exported that around the world. We ought to, as a nation, leaders, we should repent.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've got the stomach to do that anymore.
That's the only negative aspect of capitalism is that they want to. It's all about consumers getting bigger, better.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Even if that's detrimental to their health, even if it doesn't help them in any way whatsoever, it's like, well, we make money, and it says in the Bible, the love of money is root of all evil, not money. The love of money. And these people, these businesses and companies that are completely killing people, they're killing people. Yep. It's all money hungry.
I use this as a statement or a story all the time. Like when you go buy goods and services, do we look, even like for clothing, do we look to see where it's made? I mean, do we ever do that? And really. What if it's made in China?
Yeah.
Who is profiting off of our dollar? Is it America? Or is it communism? Now, why do companies, it is a question, we should be pondering that. Yeah. Why are we so not aware of made in the USA? Right. Why did we get to the point where we're actually funding communism and we complain about communism? When in reality, big business is actually communism 101 because the American companies that we all buy from, where are their factories? In China. And what do? They use like this child labor that we complain about here, but we support it over there.
Yep.
And it's all just this weird way to think about things. Right?
I never thought about that.
That's so true.
What in the world? Because it's like people know that we have factories overseas, like in China, but they just assume like China's not benefiting from it. It's just like the poor workers, but the Chinese government or whatever, they don't make anything from this.
Think about how evil it is that these Chinese companies, or not, these American companies are going somewhere for cheap labor.
Yes.
While overpricing here.
Totally.
And also, whether it be food or clothing or whatever, is overpricing the stuff. Food, you're killing people. The clothing, there's Chinese kids that are being completely child labor, misused or abused.
Yeah.
And we're just like, thanks for the shirt. Thanks for this food that's going to kill me in 10 years.
Jordans,
Yeah, man, I would people should take this serious. I'd rather pay more money than support the nonsense of really child trafficking is what it is, Oh, yeah. It's a sad deal when we don't even think twice about it if we can save $1 on somebody else's pain. But we don't we have got to wake up and see things from a more a kind of a more godly, more mountaintop view instead of just like in our little valleys of nothingness. And so, I think it's a reality check for all of us. And the more we become in bondage to that, right, the more we get controlled by it. And then, this is a very important term, our rights eventually regress to privileges. That's where we're going.
Yes.
That's where we're going.
That's what they're trying to do.
You betcha.
That's so insane.
I know. It's mind-blowing. That's right.
I'm hearing that, and I'm like, whoa, this is...
So we got to get back to caring for self, and that's why you guys hear me talk a lot about self-governance.
Yeah.
Self-sovereignty. Look in the mirror and realize that you can't save America. You can't make America great again until you make your own backyard great again.
Yeah.
You can't make America great again if you're dead.
Right.
Exactly.
And so we got to really get this idea in our heart to care for self. Physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, financially, governmentally. It boils down to us looking at that person in the mirror and saying, you know what, I'm going to treat you right today.
Yeah.
And that's really all it boils down to.
In
People
every
don't want
aspect. No, just like in every aspect. Like, we need to, first of all, we all need to start eating right. 100%.
Totally.
That's number one. But just...
He's talking about himself.
Look, I know I eat pizza like a whole lot in Chick-fil-A. God's chicken.
Man.
No, I'm just kidding. But
wow.
Okay, but anyways, in every aspect, like even what we
looking for a lightning bolt, man. Seriously, I don't know, man.
That's not me. Don't put my name on. Don't put my name on that.
I'm just playing.
I don't want to get death by assimilation here, Lord. Help me.
No, but like even in what we spend our dollars on, because we're not thinking about that. Like we should. As like a standard, we should think we need to support American-owned business.
Well, also people say, like, they focus on, like you said, focus on yourself. And the Jordan Peterson has in his book, is like, make your bed in the morning. The importance of just focusing on yourself and getting things done that are important and necessary in your own life. But they don't want you to focus on yourself.
No.
They want you to focus on a herd mentality. They want you to focus on other people's problems, other people's issues. If everybody focused on themselves, all those issues probably would go away.
Yeah, it's like instead of just stop the idea just doing what you're told just to blend in. Yeah. Because that's exactly, and this is a scriptural concept, right? So when you think about Babylon, there's Daniel, captured from Judah, from kingdom, right? You got to see this, kingdom to the earth. Kingdom to Babylon. We live in Babylon, right? And so the whole idea is to bring Daniel there to indoctrinate him so he looks like, acts like, speaks like, is like Babylon. Yeah. That's a herd mentality. Just do what everybody else does. Yeah. But Daniel said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm resolved, Daniel 1:8, I'm quoting, I'm resolved not to defile myself with the king's royal food and wine. And all he's saying was, I've made up my mind already because I have a kingdom mentality that I'm not going to blend in for the sake of blending in, but I'm going to stick out for the sake of sticking out so that I can be a good example for the kingdom from which I came. I'm not going to compromise my kingdom principles to fit in with worldly values, you see. And that's a big deal. I think if we can get to that point, that's why I appreciate you guys so much, because you show an interest in this. Yeah. Right? You got it. If you get this, it will set the course of your life and destiny on a different path. Yeah. But if you don't get this, you'll just be like everybody else.
Absolutely.
And where are we going? Nowhere.
Right. And not just in secret. Like, let it be known, because you're still like hiding, like you said, hiding in with the herd. If
totally.
Like, I believe this, but I won't let anyone know. I'm gonna stay in my
career. And we learned that from Taylor Dooley, who's from Hollywood. She's an actress. She was in a very popular movie when we were kids called Chalkboard and Lava Girl. And she's like, I'm gonna stand up for God. I'm gonna stand up for what I believe to be true. And she's lost her agent. She's lost her. Who was the other person? She lost like people that were worked for her for years. Yeah. They were like, we love you, but we can't be affiliated with you anymore.
Totally.
And it's like, Daniel. Same thing that you were just talking about. Daniel. Daniel got thrown into the lion's den because he prayed to God and he refused to turn away from it. And we need people with that kind of mentality. Like, I don't care if I lose it all. I don't care if everything happens to me. And guess what? Daniel changed the king's mind. The king loved Daniel, and the kingdom was changed forever because of this man, one man standing strong.
Yeah, and even when you look at that story, and we won't get into all of it, because Daniel stood strong, he saved the lives of all those sorcerers and enchanters that actually were ungodly people.
Yes. Right.
That's the crazy thing about it. And my wife and I, you guys know us now, we are kind of looked at as oddball weirdos, freaks or whatever. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we just try to do things the right way, and hopefully we can. And I was told even in the recent gubernatorial run, oh, you can't lead with Jesus. Don't do that. You'll lose the election. Well, we didn't win the election, but we won the war. because we did lead with Jesus. Every single speech I did, Jesus is my personal Lord and Savior. I did that out here on the stage. Yeah. And I don't really care what people think. Exactly. Then I'm going to honor my wife after that. And that's the priorities that we should do. And the more that gets really into our psyche, that no matter what happens to us, we live a kingdom way, and then we go back to where we came from.
Exactly.
It's all good,
That's where the most change comes.
Totally.
People are afraid to do that, Like my mom, she was running with Ralph Bank
in
Michigan. And it's like, I'm proud to stand up and do it.
Totally.
And stand up for what I believe in. Because guess what? You still change people's minds. And people being for the cause, and if we can trust the people that we are electing, and we trust, and they still are along with the cause, we won still.
Yeah, and even talking to Ralph, via text message after that, people get disappointed in what they deem to be a loss. But that was not a loss.
No.
Your mom stood with Ralph, and Ralph stood with your mom together and created a dynamic. And what they get, over 40,000 votes or something like that? Come on, man, that's 40,000 people.
40,000.
I mean, a life lived with one change is a good life.
Right.
I mean, but wow, look at that. And that's kind of the way we have to be. And we have to be so strong in that we don't back away or back down to anything. Yeah. And that's the kind of revival we need to have. Revival is not about people coming together in numbers. Revival is about the reviving of the Spirit of God's power within us.
Exactly.
To allow it to happen, to submit our lives to Him so that He controls everything we do. And we actually consult with Him about what we eat, about what we do, about who we're hanging around.
Yeah.
We should do that, right?
It's important because, when you're not eating right, it's like you can't do what it is He wants you to do long term.
No, there's like Satan wants to get us distracted. And his biggest distracting points are death, disease, sickness, and lack. And if he can get us focused on that and talking about that, look, we just empowered him.
Yeah, and it's always so convenient, the ways to not eat healthy. It's always right down the street. There's like 7 of them. There's Wendy's, McDonald's, always a Chick-fil-A. There's all these. Right. There's like all these.
Well, I tell people it's convenient to go to hell. But it is. The road's wide, man. I mean, look. It is. Look at Matthew chapter 7, 13, 14. The narrow road that few find.
Yeah.
And the wide road that many are on. Few find. That means there's only a few seeking. The wide road, you don't have to seek that because it's here.
Right.
And so the big deal is, and that's a hard thing for people to get, in church world, as I call it.
Yeah.
More people are going to end up in hell, separated from God eternally, than heaven. That's just hard to grasp.
Yeah.
And that should drive us to the point of, okay, what's our real purpose?
Yeah.
So that's why I want to care for myself, my wife, and you guys, and all of our listeners, because this is our purpose.
Yeah.
You cannot tell someone about Jesus when you're 6 feet under. And in eternity, you can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't. Remember the guy that was taken to hell, and he looked at Abraham and says, "Man, can you send me back or tell my brothers at least that I don't that they don't want to come here?"
No.
Yeah. He goes, "Nope. Basically you had your chance, and if they didn't believe the prophets and Jesus, they ain't going to believe them either."
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. People are like, "Oh, if I just had the proof, if he was just here in front of me, I believe it." No, you wouldn't, because just think about what's happening in our country. Like, there's proof every day being presented in front of your face all the time on what's really going on, and you are so stubborn, prideful, whatever it is, to refusing to change your position on what you believe because of whether you feel like you'll be canceled, whether you're virtue signaling, whatever your reasoning being. But people are like don't want to be proven wrong in today's society. You can't be wrong. If you're wrong, then you're somehow admitting that you're the worst person ever. Like, no, you're wrong about something. Humility is a good quality to have. 3 words, powerful. I was wrong. Yes. And then maybe follow that up with I am sorry. It's not that hard. It hurts. But faithful are the wounds of friends, and dreadful or wicked are the kisses of enemies, right? And that means that, even I had somebody ask me in the hallway a moment ago. I said, "How are you doing?" And, he's a patient of ours, and he said, I'm 50-50. And I looked him in the eye, and I said, "Why?" And he looked at me, and he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Did Jesus go 80% or 50% to the cross?" He goes, "Nope." And I said, "What about your wife? Is it okay if you have a good week that you can have a cheat time? Is that good?" He's, "Nope." I said, "What about your taxes? Can you pay 50% of those and get away with it?" He was like, "Nope." And he said, "Thank you."
because those are hard. And I've had people do it to me, like my wife. She'll call me out on stuff, but it's good. I need that.
Yeah, everyone needs that.
I need it.
No one needs to be coddled.
No.
People need to be told the truth in honesty, and you should do it in love, obviously.
Totally.
But there's people. We're in this world where like you can't tell the truth to people without them getting offended. And that's how you don't have growth. We were talking to Lance Wano the other day, and he was talking about how he had someone working for him who he asked him what his thoughts were on one of the, I don't know if it was a speech he did or a video he did, and he just was like, oh, it was great, it was wonderful. I was like, well, is there anything that you think that we could fix and that we could do better? He was like, oh, I think it's just amazing. He's like, I'm firing him. He's like, I'm firing because you didn't tell me anything to improve, and if there's nothing to improve on, then you can't. What is your purpose for being here? And then after he said that to him, he was like, well, I do think you could have done this, and it's like you need to be honest. Don't be fearful. Like especially. We need people to tell us. Like I've had conversations with my family before, and let's say the way you say this like this makes me feel this way, or because it seems like you're doing this, and I'm like, well, that's not my intention. But it's not on them to understand my intentions. It's on me to fix how I say something so that they understand what I mean and what I'm trying to bring. Because I'm an aggressive personality or assertive.
Well, you're confident.
And so that can come off domineering, maybe in a way that's like threatening and not necessarily threatening, you know what I mean? And so I'm just like, okay, well, let's dial back. Yeah. Let's learn how to communicate clearer to people.
Yeah, it is. And my wife, she said something to me a while back, that I guess, you don't realize it when you're doing it. But, we've been speaking this message for the better part of a decade. And she mentioned, you used to come off kind of hard on people. And I didn't want to hear that. It didn't make me feel good at all. Yeah. I mean, like, oh, golly, I didn't want to do that because that's not my heart. Yeah. But because I heard that, because I listened to her and asked the Lord to help me with that, and she's come back and said, oh, now you're more like a loving father to people. And I'm like, cool. But I you don't want to do a bad job in communicating anything. Yeah. And we've got to communicate the truth, man. And if we don't, I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, Jesus communicated the truth.
Yeah. Exactly. You brought up
totally.
Yeah, you brought up another really good point earlier, not just about physical health, which is very important, but like your mental health. So if you only have people in your circle that are the yes men, that are super like, I mean, encourage your friends, encourage your family, yes, but if they never tell you when you're doing something wrong, they never tell you
that
you're
ain't
being
love.
harsh, you're never doing whatever, it's horrible for your mental health because you're going around every day thinking you're doing everything great, you're doing everything right, and you could be hurting and harming everyone around you. So your circle is super important. You had brought that up earlier. I just want to say, 100%.
It's critical that in our world today, and this is a message for everyone, we should not make anyone into a demagogue status by not loving them enough to tell them the truth. Because in every one of us, there's a temptation there to fall into love of money, fame, power, influence, prestige, fame, whatever you want to call it. And that's something we got to be aware of.
Yeah.
If we get to that point, we're not loving people.
No.
At all. It's actually the greatest form of hatred.
Yeah.
And because we've done that over the course of time, we put faith into people, faith into man to meet the needs, and it should have been in God the whole time.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's a bad thing that we do to the person.
Yeah.
Because we don't, if you feed that thing, ego, edging God out, we really will begin to see the way. You know what I'm saying? It'll cause a person to drift away from what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and then they'll solely rely on the compliments and the appreciation that people give them, and it'll be like they're that what they live for, and they won't live for God anymore. 100%.
And that's not good. That's not good to have. It creates vanity.
No, man, I'd rather be standing alone in the right than standing with a whole group of people in the wrong.
Exactly.
And it's hard, but I'd rather have somebody tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And it's not than just kind of tell me what I want to hear, because that's not helping me at all. It ain't helping anybody else.
Right.
Not at all.
No.
Jesus wasn't like that.
No.
People will say Jesus loves, right? Like it says to love your neighbor 100%.
I don't know what love is, though.
But when Jesus saw what the people were doing in the church, what did he do when they were like
flip them tables?
He flipped the tables.
Man.
That was love, though. That was like what you're doing is horrible. It's wrong, and this you're disrespecting the type and shadow of what he's about to do, what he's about to go through on the cross.
And with the log, like get the log out of your own eye before you try and get the speck out of your friend's eye.
That is love.
That's aggressive or assertive or direct in a way that's showing you're wrong, and maybe you feel judged or maybe you feel a certain way, but it's the truth. people need to get past
Yep.
the initial like wording and actually like evaluate what someone's saying to them. Okay, why did I say that? Okay, then maybe that makes sense. Maybe I should work on my own issues before I try and it doesn't even say do not fix your brother or fix your friend. It says to first take the log out of your own eye and then go help them.
Well, and you mentioned the table turning, right? That was Matthew 21, by the way. And so there's a whole story behind that that's really cool. And so when you think about this, Jesus went in that temple. He goes, hey, this is just a bunch of nonsense. What are you doing here? You know, and I'm paraphrasing heavily, but he got angry.
Yeah.
You know, let's just really shock people. He got pissed off.
Right.
Right? Oh, don't shut me down. Jesus can't be pissed. Yes, he got pissed, right? And so he got angry and he built that whip. And that wasn't just going down to Walmart and purchasing it. He had to actually get the materials and put it together. So can you imagine Jesus steaming, you know, tying the knots and all that? And he drove them out of the temple. Now, the thing is with that, when we forget, once he drove them out of the temple, in that day, that's where the presence of God was centered, right?
Yeah.
After he drove them out, immediately the blind and the lame were healed in the temple. Why were they not healed before? Because the temple had nonsense in it that was crowding out God's ability to heal. Well, how does that apply to us today? We have the mind of Christ. This is the temple. We have to have the courage to drive out, keep out anything out of this temple that will prevent God's healing capabilities within the temple. And if we can get that, you know, we realize that the presence of God is healing, and where God is, there's healing, and healing should be expected in this thing because this is a healing vessel all the time. But that's a hard thing to get because when you start trying to keep things out, drive things out, that's a full-time job. You got to pay attention to that. What comes in your eyes, your ears, your mouth, you know, your brain, who's around you, who's speaking into you, your life. Watch it all.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's why you need to go to Sherwood.tv.
Come on.
There you go.
Get yourself.
Start with your health.
Honestly, though. I mean,
It's
we've
the
been saying this
easiest
for a
thing to
while.
do.
So no more Chick-fil-A.
Don't look at me.
See, I'll be getting no. I'm serious. No, I'll be in my room. I'll be in the studio, and then I got us Chick-fil-A. I'm like, man, why you get us Chick-fil-A? I'm not gonna throw it away. It's a waste of food.
I'm
right there.
guilty of it.
It's a waste of what?
Waste of food. Like,
Food?
No, so if I get it for him.
Think about it. I'm just helping you with something.
Oh, I guess it's not
Is it food?
Oh.
I guess that's debatable. Actually.
That's the question.
I guess poison. Stop trying to poison me, Isaac.
Is
All
that?
right, and why are we coming at me right now?
Do you love your brother?
Yeah, do you love me or not?
Talking about loving your neighbor. You ain't love your brother,
Yeah,
man.
bro,
Come
he's trying to
on.
kill me every day. Want some Wingstop? He wants to know.
This is
Let's
brotherly
air it all
love
out.
right here.
Let's air it all out.
Yeah, I
For everyone
feel
to
like a
see.
counselor right now.
No, but honestly, Sherwood.tv. I'm gonna go on a plan. I'm telling you, I'm going to. I need like some sort of detox or like calculate. I don't even know the words. Like of
You do a detox. I think that's a great idea, honestly, because like we've got. It's not about we kid around. It's not about Chick-fil-A, and it's funny, but it's not about that. It's about not being in bondage to worldly principles.
Yeah,
it's about being able to not be addicted to worldly things.
Yeah.
Knowing you live in the world, but you're not of the world.
Yeah.
And so you got to work at that. And that's what people are going to get when they work with my wife and I. That we deal with all these areas. Even when we talk to spiritual principles today, we deal with that all the time. It's all one. Physical, emotional, spiritual, it's all one.
Yeah. You need to take care of all of it.
Always.
Because you can't say, I'm going to read my Bible, but I'm going to eat pizza every day. Like, no, you can read your Bible and be spiritually fed, but you can't eat. You're taking care of your body. You'll be just talking to Jesus soon because eating all that food is not going to keep you on the earth.
Yeah. Don't pray to God for healing and then not treat your body right.
Yeah.
That's silly. It's like I kid around. You guys come from pastor's family, but this is funny. I was speaking at a pastor's conference and it said, hey, how many here pray for type 2 diabetes? And, of course, everybody's hand went up. And I said, stop it right now. They're like, it was a silence everywhere. I said, stop it because you're creating it. Why do you pray for something you create and then think you have the ego enough to pray it out? So, I mean, I'm going somewhere with this. Yeah. Like within youth groups and all that stuff, what do we do with that? What have we been told to do? Pizzas, sodas, cookies, ice cream, and we actually use that as a bait.
To get people to come.
Bingo. Yeah. And is that of God?
Dang.
I mean, it's a question.
You're killing your congregation.
No. We just don't need to think like the world because do we need that to bring people in?
No.
No, isn't the Holy Spirit more powerful? Don't we really trust God, or do we trust the bait?
That's so true.
You know, it's really something we got to think about.
Just all these young adults groups I'll be going to like throughout my whole life. Oh, here's a pizza.
Yeah, totally.
Here's the cookies. Here's the cake. Oh, first time guests get a free this, free that. And it's like a free
they don't ever give you a free salad, do they?
No.
No, man. Because they're afraid people wouldn't come.
Yeah, they wouldn't want it. It's like first God should be the draw to church and not food.
That's it.
But they use food as that's crazy. That is the hook.
So did Satan in Genesis 3. Remember that.
Ooh,
this is the key point of what caused the downfall of man. The Satan's key strategy. If it didn't work at that point, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So he had to take his full, his shotgun strategy that's going to work. His number one strategy is to get us off course with what we see in regard to God's provision, and he creates a substitute, and he says, hey, have a bite of that. It's through the appetite God gave us. And this is why the church in America needs to sort of wake up again and be revitalized, because we become an agent of Satan's tools instead of somebody that stands against Satan.
That's amazing.
It's true, though. You guys know what I'm talking about.
100%.
Right, I got you, and I'm
going
gonna feel so convicted if I even think about getting Chick-fil-A again.
No,
good.
If God is working
Good.
in your life, obey. He is the one. Just listen to him.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah.
So Sherwood.tv.
There you go.
Sherwood.tv. Get on that detox with me. Let's go on a detox together.
Detox together. I
We
love
detox
that.
first, and then we'll go on the health meal plans and all
Easy.
that fun stuff, because I feel like we got to clean up first, right?
I think
clean
so,
that
yeah.
crap, clean that gunk out of you, Isaac, and then
Stop looking at me.
then we'll go on the plans together. We could honestly do this together with
No,
the,
that'd
with
be
the,
fun.
be a blast.
with the people on here. Let's go
Yeah.
through a plan or something together and see. That could be
Yeah.
encouraging to them.
think that's good.
And we can help each other get
Yeah,
through
no
this,
diets.
everybody.
Don't worry, no diets.
No
we don't
diets. We got this. All right. Well, can you tell everyone? I know Sherwood.tv is where to go, but you guys
Yeah.
do more than just health. You said you got involved in movies. You're involved in
Yeah.
all this stuff. Cause like remind them of like what it is that
We
you
do. We've got 3 #1 best-selling books. Quest for Wellness, Fork Your Diet, and Surviving the Garden of Eden.
So good.
Pretty funny. We just developed something called Kingdom Fuel, which is a complete meal protein. It's a pea protein organic. It's got vitamins and minerals. It's got fiber and greens and reds. We developed it ourselves to kind of solve the food problem. So just came out with that 2 weeks ago. It's called Kingdom Fuel.
I will be getting it.
We're getting in the gym this next
It's
week.
amazing.
And you will all be getting it too.
Yeah. Wow.
And we do
That's
the
so
movies and
awesome.
stuff. So, but you know what? Honestly, they're all an extension of who we are and what we do.
This is amazing. And we were talking to tell them the other day when we interviewed Andrew Sorchini. We were talking about how and obviously we're transparent with our audience.
Yeah.
The promo codes and everything that does help fund us being able to live. But it's not only that. We don't want to just have anybody sponsor anybody.
Yeah.
Andrew Sorchini was so all about integrity when it came to making sure that these people's gold was transferred over and that there wasn't any they wouldn't just give all their funds. No, you need bills that you have to pay for, and you need to make sure you don't just give it all. You guys are so full of integrity when it comes to health. We want you guys to be healthy. We actually want you guys to live long. And who cares about gold if you're not alive?
Exactly.
You need to be able to actually live and know, because we don't know. I didn't know. I had no knowledge. I thought the keto diet. You explained the keto diet to us a couple weeks ago. I thought keto diet was the bacon, cheese, all these things, and I was like, oh, I'm losing weight, and I was like, yeah, you're also killing yourself.
Yeah, don't do that.
And so go to Sherwood.tv, put in the promo code SmithBROS. You guys get a great discount just putting in our promo code. You're helping us out. You're helping out yourself. So again, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sorry we got to do it in person. You guys got to see the health guy. And it's me and Isaac. We're scrawny.
You can look just like
you
that.
can look like him if you go to Sherwood.tv and put in the promo code SmithBROS. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Appreciate you guys. Love you all too,
Thank
man. You guys are awesome.
Bye.
All right, y'all. Y'all know that was another fire interview by Dr. Hulk.
You're so dumb. It's
Mark Sherwood.
I can say you.
And y'all, guys, if you want to live a long life, go to Sherwood.tv right now, because he is going to set you up with the perfect package for you. If you want to diet, if you want to, just live a healthier life and, live, just
live in general.
Just live.
Well, remember we talked about the detox we're going to go on with you guys. So if you want to comment down below, if you want to do this detox, we're going to be on a call with one of his people this week. We're going to figure out all this stuff because it's a little different. We're working with him. But you guys go to Sherwood.tv. Go look for the detox, and we will specify which one it is in the comments. You guys need to do this with us. We'll probably start some point next week. I'll confirm with you. We'll confirm with you on my channel, on his channel, and on a joint channel. Join. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, so go right now, Sherwood.tv, and get set up today.
Promo code SmithBros.
Promo code